Hi guys, happy Monday. So I'll just keep repeating myself for a while. The new schedule that I've got planned is Motivational Mondays. So my Friday chats have now been moved to a Monday where I'm going to speak about something that's hopefully going to inspire you to be better, whether it be fitness, health, work, personal, like it all ties in together. We're definitely much happier people when we are happy at home, happy at work, happy with ourselves, happy with our training, happy with our health. So please don't take only what I'm saying away to only fitness and health. It definitely ties into so many other aspects of your life. Workout Wednesday will stay the same, an awesome workout that'll be released in a two-parter on a Wednesday rather than a one single video. And then Fridays would rather be Flexi Fridays, where I speak about and help the mobility version of the fitness and the health aspect. So making sure that healthy body, healthy mind comes with also a more flexible aspect to ourselves, and not just always thinking about the physical training, sort of hardcore side of the workouts, but rather actually the flexible side as well. So I'm very excited about this new schedule. So I'll be speaking to you a little bit today about our Motivational Monday, and what I've chosen to speak to you about today is how to be consistent. And consistency in itself is quite a hard thing. It's basically the make or break of a goal, I would always say, because it's easy to say, I want to run a 5K in 20 minutes. I want to do a 42K marathon. I want to do 10 pull-ups at the end of this year. But it's the consistency of being there every single day to take it away with you. So it's exactly the same thing as I just generally want to be a more positive person. I want to eat better. It's day in and day out, are we being consistent to our goals? So the 7 tips that I want to speak to you about of consistency. Number 1 would be a consistent start to the day. And no, I don't mean we have to wake up at the exact same time, we have to have the exact same coffee. I'm more speaking about the mindset and the preparation to the day. So I know myself, I don't work every single morning, so sometimes my wake up days are different. Sometimes I do different things on different days. I have morning clients, I don't have morning clients. I go for a hike when I can. So my actual routine might change a lot, but the preparation to the routine and the preparation to the day can stay the exact same. So wake up, whatever you need to do to wake yourself up, get that done, but have that mindset. So do what you need to do to prepare yourself for the fact that I'm going to be positive today. I'm going to be consistent in what I need to do today. I'm going to set myself the routine that is going to set me up for success. So whatever routine that is, and how so it may change, that's absolutely fine. But the routine that I have going to set myself is going to set me up for success. So I'm not going to put too much on my plate. I'm not going to be hard on myself if I happen to not check everything off. Life happens, so I'm going to set myself up for success where I can, and I'm going to mentally prepare myself to be able to do those things. Number 2 would be focus. So I really like this. You'll see it follow up a couple of times because it just really resonated with me. And follow one course until success. So focus, follow one course until success. So follow one thing at a time, even one goal, one small little goal. And most of the time we have multiple goals in pipeline, because it's, I want to be a better reader, I want to be a better painter, I want to be a better runner, I want to be a better mom, there's a couple of things in the pipeline for different things. So of course you can have one training goal, but you can also have a personal goal, you can also have a work goal. So of course there's already more than one thing in the pipeline as far as life is concerned, but stick to one training goal, stick to one mindset, and don't let other things distract you, because it's very easy. I am one of those people that get very easily distracted, because I'll have a goal and then I'll start seeing something else slip. So for example, I really need to work on my gymnastics. So my strict pull-ups, my strict dips, my strict handstand push-ups, things like that. I really feel like that is the biggest weakness of mine, and I really need to work on it. But then I start getting really distracted, because I'm like, oh, my deadlifts are starting to feel like a little weak now. Like, oh, my squats need a little bit of work, they're feeling a little bit iffy now. And then suddenly I'm like, oh, I need to start on a squat cycle as well. Like, oh my word, I need to. And then I'm I need to pull myself back. Already in that moment, I'm like, no, Carmen, like, I'm sticking to this course for 6 weeks. I'm going to do a retest, and then, you swap it out. So if in training, it's a little bit different, depending on obviously what you're focusing on, but you stick to certain things for a certain amount of time, and it makes sense to follow that one schedule for a couple of weeks, and then follow through, do a retest, and then test and retest, and then you change it up, and then you either redo it because you're now happy with the goal, you want to stick with it, or again, someone like myself would go sort of an upper body gymnastics cycle into like a strength cycle, then into an upper body strength cycle into a cardio cycle, and things like that. I would change it up a little bit because you've got multiple goals in the pipeline, and that's okay. But at one time, you are focusing on one thing at a time. So right now, I'm focusing on a gymnastics goal, and I'm gonna stick to that because as much as all these other things get very distracting and overwhelming, they are just a distraction. So set yourself up right, write it down, focus on completing it, and only do one thing at a time. Focus on, you can enjoy a good run every now and again, but know that your main goal is to up this while everything sort of stays here, and then you up that while everything stays here, and then you do one thing at a time. You can't think about upping 2-3 skills at the same time. You've got to pick one, focus on it, and then move on once you've sort of happy with that progress. Focus on consistent thinking. So consistent movements, consistent habits must consist of consistent thinking. So to have consistent behavior, consistent thinking, we must think about what plans us best for the day. So I said here, read and reread empowering thoughts. It helps build a mental foundation so that even when we are in a moment of weakness, even when we are having those bad days and the mind wanders, you'll still be grounded in that principle. You'll still be able to go back and say, no, this is, what needs to happen. This is what I'm doing, and I'm sticking to my guns to that because I've had this mental foundation. I know I've built myself up in positive thoughts to understand that this is what I need to do. I need to stick with it, and I've built that consistent behavior and that consistent thought process to know that even on a bad day, it'll be okay. Like, I just need to stick to it, and it'll be all right. Number 4 would be don't let self-doubt creep in after you've even accomplished a couple of goals. So you have your main outcome goal, and you've got 5 little progress goals to obviously get to your main goal. So something big like running a 42 kilometer, you would obviously have a bunch of little mini goals, like run a 5k, then run a 10, and then run a 12, or then run a 21, and then finally the 42 will be coming up, and you've made your 5, you've done your 10, you've done a 15, you've maybe done a 21, and that 42 kilometer run is sort of creeping in there, and then suddenly you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. The same thing happens, on a squat cycle, or we are preparing ourselves for a big work promotion, and you're working really hard, and you're setting yourselves up with all these little mini goals, and then suddenly the self-doubt kicks in, and you're like, I don't know if this is actually what I want anymore, if this is what I should be doing, because someone's speaking to you in your ear, or someone's progress has been so much faster. Whatever the case may be, don't let that self-doubt kick in. It's obviously much easier said than done, but again, have that mental foundation brought in. Read and reread those empowering thoughts, and leave them lying around in the house, whether it be up on your fridge or in your bedroom or written up on your mirror on your bathroom. Read something every single day that's going to encourage you to say, you know what, I 100% back myself, and even though I'm going through a really bad day today, or it's, I haven't managed to tick off a couple of little things today, it's going to be okay, because I've done this progress, and I'm already started, and I'm in this now to finish it, and that's all I need to do, is just keep backing yourself up to follow through with that. Even when self-doubt kicks in, you've got this. Number 5 would be, and this is a big one, do it even when you don't feel like it. So the short terms obviously kick in on like the lazy Sunday where you've said you're going to go for a run, or you've said you're going to do a couple of back squats, or you're going to do some extra work, because the work promotion will obviously see that as a big investment if you are doing a little bit of extra work here and there. And it's being consistent when you don't feel like it. You're often the most grateful and happy that you've pushed through this momentary weakness. And I mean, that's always the best thing for me. For me, I have so often gone to the gym and be like, wow, what am I doing here? I absolutely really don't feel like it. And that's actually when I get the workout done and I'm lying there and it's done, and I'm lying there sweaty on the floor, and I'm like, I'm so glad I got this done. And it's the exact same thing, whether it be work, fitness, eating a nice salad instead of baking yourself a cake, or whatever the case may be. You in the moment, you're like, I'm so glad I did this, because then you're not having that self-doubt creep in again, and all these little things that could be coming up again. You followed through in that momentary weakness, and you're like, I followed through, I really pushed it. I was so happy and grateful that this is done, because I would have been self-loathing afterwards. Identity, so you are what you do daily. Things like those sayings of you are what you eat, things like that. We aren't what we do from time to time, or every now and again, or when we feel like it. We are what we are, and we are what we do day in and day out. So a nice little saying that I got here was, we are what we do, what we repeatedly do. We are what we repeatedly do, and that's by Aristotle. Someone that I've been learning about, actually. And it's exactly that. We are what we repeatedly do. So who are you? What are you setting yourself up to do day in and day out? And that's what's going to help you follow through with those goals. So making sure that, what are you doing day in and day out? What are you enjoying? What are you motivated to do? What are you actually going to do? Because those are the things that you're going to want to do day in and day out. Build those habits that you're constantly going to want to repeat, and you're going to look forward to doing these things, because that is what you're going to be able to accomplish much easier. And last but not least, number 7, improve your consistency to consistently improve. So a saying that Albert Einstein has stated as insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And I'd say we're not doing the same thing over again expecting different results. We are doing the same thing over and over again while improving on it, actually wanting the same results. So obviously when you go into training, you're like, I'm going to get fitter, I'm going to get stronger, I'm going to run better, I'm going there to squat more, I'm going there to be a healthier, fitter human being. And we constantly feel like we're doing the same thing over and over again, which can be obviously very overwhelming and very tedious, especially on bad days. Why do I have to go to the gym? Why do I have to work late? Why do I have to eat the salad? Why do I have to not have this glass of wine? Whatever the case may be. And just keep reflecting on how far you've come, because very often you actually are very much progressing without even realizing. So you squat 3 times a week and you wonder, why am I doing this? Because I'm not getting any better at it. But actually, over the last couple of weeks, you've put on 10 kilos on your squat, and only because you've actually realized. And you need to see how different life is to be able to look back and understand where you've come from, how far you've come, and be positive about it. So make sure that you obviously are constantly improving. Make sure that you obviously are improving the consistency, so doing the same thing over and over again, but actually improving. So are we getting closer to that goal? Because if we aren't, then obviously that would be insanity to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results, or rather expect the same result and not get any closer to it. So this is where I really like my aspect of training, where I like actually being aware of performance markers and things like that, where people say, how fast can you run a 5-kilometer run? And then you say, I have no idea. Because how are you going to get, how do you know if you're getting better? How do you know if you're getting worse? You can't always be based on feeling like, oh, that felt like a really good run. Oh, great, that's lovely. But if you are wanting to obviously take your running further, you're going to need some times, you're going to need some speeds, you're going to need to understand where you are in your running to be able to improve. So make sure that you obviously do have a few performance markers for whatever you're working on, with it. Again, it'd be work or pleasure or fitness or in health, that you know where you stand at your starting point, so that you can continue forward. I'm going to write a couple of these things down so that you have them on paper as well, but take a good listen to this video again, because I do encourage you to just manifest a couple of these things. They are so important, and they really do mean a lot as far as being a consistent person is concerned, because you don't really want to be a train wreck yourself. You want to be a consistent person, which brings on consistency in your life, which is only going to bring on and pay forward your consistent goals and be consistent yourself. So I do definitely encourage a lot of these things to be brought into your life day in and day out. So pay your mindset, pay yourself, have that organization, know what you want, have steps to get to what you want, so that you're just much more prepared, much more ready, and understand what a bad day feels like and know how to push through that, because that is what consistency brings about, and it's just so rewarding. So I hope this has helped. I hope you definitely listen to this again so that you can understand, take just a few things down, and really reward consistency, guys, because it's just so